Rolling.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
You'll see here the human male boasts the size of his testicles. I drive great when I'm blind. It's all about the sauce. Good, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Oh man, speaking of fucking, you want popcorn? I'll give you a popcorn kit. I'm just trying to go to Colorado and smoke some weed. Watch your fucking tots, huh? Those are my biscuits. Now, this is all alleged.
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I am Jesse, today joined by our guest, Jack Hackett, writer, comedian, director, man of many hats.
Hi, that's me.
That's you.
That's that guy.
So thanks for coming on the show. Would you mind telling the audience like a little bit about yourself, what you do?
A little bit about me. So you hear all those fun titles, writer, comedian, director. What I really am and what I get paid to do, I'm an assistant in the entertainment industry, which I love. I'm from Georgia. I came out here for school, and I kind of got hooked up in the right way, met the right people, and ended up on a TV show, and things are going all right.
Nice. What school did you go to that you got hooked up at?
I went to USC.
Nice.
Very scandal-filled, but it all happened after I left. All the college admission, I wasn't caught, so everything was fine.
Your parents are in the clear. They're not bribing.
Yeah, they're in the
anyone?
clear.
Good.
Look, I already went. I'm already graduated. They can't get me now.
Yeah. Statute of limitations. We're good. Don't worry
Got the
about
diploma in a lockbox.
it. Yep.
Yeah, if they found out I was on an athletic team, you would know something was up. So we had to do something. We just did straight up bribing to get in.
Oh, man.
The good old-fashioned way.
So your time there, mostly production is what you're studying?
I actually didn't get in the production program. I got into the program. It was called Critical Studies. It was more of just watching movies and writing papers on it, which I didn't enjoy. I love school, but that I did not like writing essays. So basically most of my time was filled doing extracurriculars. So I ran the comedy club there, where I sort of helped run events at school with the comedy program and the professors there. So I met them, which is how I got hooked up with the showrunner of the Jim Jefferies Show. Okay. But then in addition to that, I was also running our satire paper called Sack of Troy. And then there was like a weekend update style show for our TV station that I also wrote and made sketches for. So all of my time was spent on the extracurriculars and like very little time on school. Which is what I preferred.
It's the fun way to do it, at least, right?
Oh, totally agree. My school is too easy.
Was this Sack of Troy like the National Lampoon essentially?
Yeah, it was basically it was like USC's The Onion.
Okay.
Definitely. That's pretty much just it. We did Onion and Clickhole style stuff, so everything's all headline based. And I ran that for 2 years with my writing partner, who I live with still.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun there. And so I didn't do stand-up until almost I was done graduating, but I was doing comedy for a while before I started stand-up. So I at least had a grounding in what was funny.
Right.
And then I did stand-up, and then I had to have another new threshold because my headline stuff did not transfer. And stand-up's brutal. Do you guys do stand-up at all or anything like that?
Matt's done more than I have. It's not, I'm right more than get up on stage.
Yeah, I mean, we're both like bitches about it.
Like...
I'm going to be the honest one about it. We're bitches about it, and I haven't taken the step to really like put in the work to it, but we love it. We love stand-up. You know, that's what really probably the main influence behind doing this podcast is comedy. It got us into comedy radio shows.
Yeah,
cutting our chops and trying to find out what sounds funny without the audience there to boo us, I guess.
It's my favorite art form. And we just haven't really taken the chance to do it over time.
To actually get up on stage. That seems like the hardest part of it is actually getting out there and getting on stage, though.
For me, I've had good experiences, and I'm just I'm afraid to go and have that bad one, which is inevitable.
Yes.
Inevitable.
Plenty of bad ones. Plenty of bad ones.
See, stop it. That's why I don't do it.
Yeah, but eventually the bad stuff you just laugh at. Like when I'm bomb now, I'm just laughing my ass off on stage because I realize how terrible it probably is for all the other comics who paid to sit there.
Yeah.
Because that's what's bad about open mics is, at least for LA, it's tough because there's so many.
You guys got it the hardest.
Yeah, how competitive is it down there?
It's a ton of people wanting to do it, and then the difference is like from like Chicago and the other places that I think this could be wrong, but we get also have like a bunch of actors wanting to do it too. So not only are we getting people who just want to do stand up, we're getting stand up actors, like, and then there's directors and sketch people, like everyone who just like wants to like work on a comedy. Like I don't want to be stand up long term, but I'm working on my comedic voice and seeing what jokes work and like learning how to cut the fat on things. So it's really a good school just to go up there and fucking tank for 5 minutes.
It kind of checks you because I mean, like, it's funny because some people laugh at those random things that aren't funny to anybody else in the room, and it's like it's kind of checks that moment, like, you know, like what does everybody find funny?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, which is good for writing perspective.
100%. And you're like, what did I alienate? Like, what was wrong with this joke here? Did I alienate the audience? Did it not connect because I didn't set something up right? And like, how much setup do you really need for a joke? Because then you go do your time and like you listen to your tape back. And you'll be like, I got to laugh here. You're like, you'll remember in your brain, like, oh, I killed it. Like these laughs were really big. Then you can go back and listen. Like the gaps in between the laughs are so vast. And then when you go see someone really good at like the store or the improv or whatever, and like every line's a joke and laughs come with every sentence. Oh, dude. Like how do you trim that fat? And that's just what you learn from just going up there and doing it for 7 years is what people say it takes to get good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's like the difference between like a Civil War style gun and like a machine gun with the jokes.
Yes, exactly.
So let me reload this son of a bitch.
Yeah. You don't need to pack it for so long. Just have another bullet. Yeah, exactly. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, I take on the title of Master of Similes.
Great
on our show. So
wonderful.
I'll keep that reign going. So you've written too. Looking through your IMDb, it's like writer, director, actor, cinematographer.
Yes.
What would you say your writing style is? Is it mainly comedies?
Mainly comedy. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much why I came out here. Was like I was definitely in the minority of my class, which is I was more into the mainstream Adam McKay style comedy stuff, and everyone else is more into, I don't even disparage everybody, but people were more into the art side of film, and I was more into just the entertainment factor. And I've grown up and learned that's not necessarily the case, but that's definitely my motto. It's not entertaining, I don't give a shit. So comedy is definitely totally in that volume because it's not a wholly respected field. Like everyone gives all these dramatic actors the praise, but the comedic actors, like it's really tough. And they don't get much praise, and you know that's the way it goes. But that's where I decided to focus. And then also, fun story: I graduated high school in Georgia, and I immediately joined the film union there. So I started doing lighting on union TV shows.
Oh wow!
So you'll see a bunch of production credits in my IMDb because I just was doing below the line stuff, and I did like a day of sound on Fast and Furious 7.
Oh wow!
And,
oh shit!
I was on a canceled VH1 show for lighting, and then when I basically all the money I made then, I made like $20,000 in like 5 months.
Oh shit!
Really cool. I don't know why I came out here to try to do stand up. I know.
Yeah. What the fuck are you doing, dude?
So unfortunately I put all that money into equipment, a bunch of lighting and camera equipment. So I moved it all out here. So I was like the equipment guy in college. So I was the gaffer for so many people's projects, and I shot a bunch of things for people because I just had all the equipment. I have sound, I have camera, I have lighting because I wanted to be self-sufficient. I didn't want to rely on other people like people were for me. And I just let people borrow it all for free. So now everybody owes me.
Nice. So not really
long
free.
Plan.
Yeah, long plan. So now it's like, you're going to do sound of my movie, bitch.
Dude, smart plan. I like that.
Yeah, totally.
It was smart. Like that. But there's no ROI. There's no return on the investment for anything I bought. So yeah, most of my credits on there are going to be gaffing and stuff because that's what I did for like, in addition to comedy and stuff, I was just working on student films for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And basically I was given the advice by someone back in Atlanta, like another, a best boy. He goes, it's great you're doing that, but I feel like you're going to pigeonhole yourself as the lighting guy. No one's going to take you seriously when you try to do anything else. I was like, oh shit. So when I went back, I basically was like, okay, I'm going to stop gaffing things. I need to focus more on creative stuff. So that's sort of timed up when I took over the newspaper and newspaper, parody paper. News to me. But I just decided I should really double down at college to focus on the creative stuff because that's kind of why I'm there. And I can always fall back on below the line stuff, and I still can. I still have connections here because I tried joining the lighting union in LA, but it's so hard. Like people's kids can't even join. Like
Damn.
Here's what's really hard about it is, at least for 728, that's the lighting union out here. In order for you to get on a union, to become union, you need to work on a union show. But the only way you know about union shows is that you have to be union. It's like the classic actor problem. You can't be SAG or whatever. You can't get representation without being represented or being in things. So you have to wait until they have a thing called permit days, which is when everyone on the roster is supposedly working. Then like, okay, we can go find people who aren't working. And you have to get 30 days in 3 years in order to get your union card.
Damn.
Which sounds like not much, but like I know people who are at that 3-year cusp of like, I have 28 days. Does anybody have?
It's like, just give me 2 days. Fuck.
I just need 2 days. I just need to get in.
Can you imagine?
Because then you get benefits and you get insurance, obviously, training, work.
The gateway is open.
It's so hard out here to join, which is why a lot of productions are starting up in other cities as well, because it's easier for tax incentives. It's easier to find crew. It's easier to make it in other cities.
Georgia, like you had mentioned, like that was where they did majority of The Walking Dead, from what I understand.
That opened a lot for them too.
And then all the animation, Williams Street, they all take place over there.
And all like a lot of Marvel movies are Georgia as well, because they opened up Pinewood, and that pretty much just became Marvel Studios. They had 11 stages, and all of them are Marvel.
Oh wow!
Wow. But Pinewood just sold it and changed the name, so I don't know what Pinewood's realizing about Atlanta. I don't know if it's slowing down or not for them, but
maybe.
I would think the cost of doing business out there has to be a lot less compared to the West Coast, like LA.
Oh, for sure. For what I'm paying for rent, I could probably own a house in Georgia. I mean, you're in Bay Area, right? I mean, your rent might even be worse than me.
Yeah, I'm feeling it up here. Especially where Matt and myself grew up in upstate New York. You can get, a pretty much 2-bedroom apartment for like $800 sometimes in the middle of the woods. You're gonna have bears as neighbors for sure, but
my friend's in like a studio. We call it his tree house because it's so tiny, and his kitchen set looks like one of those children's Fisher Price units,
Oh, poor guy.
And he's taller than his shower. Like, it's so bad, and he's paying like $1,600 a month, and that's not including utilities. He's just getting fucked over. Like, sucks. That's why it's so hard to start here.
I thought LA would have been a little bit better, but it sounds like it's just under where we're at in the Bay Area in terms of
it's so bad.
Price.
And I'm sure this is great podcast material talking about rents.
We cover everything. Our audience loves it.
All those West Coast dreams getting crushed.
Wait, so you guys are both from New York?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still in New York. I'm in Albany.
Where are you in New York?
Albany, yeah. I'm in the capital.
Albany?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got a bunch of family just outside New York in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Okay.
So I got some New York connections. Do you guys call it Taylor ham or pork roll?
Are you talking about like ham sandwiches?
Man, I thought this was going to connect a little better.
I've heard of what Taylor something. This sounds like deep Jersey.
You know what? I think it is. You know what? It's a Jersey thing. It totally is a Jersey thing.
It probably is, yeah.
I'm sorry I even asked you. That's how embarrassing.
We speak bacon, egg, and cheese and pizza here.
Yeah, bagels and breakfast sandwiches. That's our claim to fame.
Yeah.
So we're speaking of podcast material. You mentioned off our recording here that you have a podcast yourself.
I do. It's called the Unsolicited Podcast. It's on Spotify, like you guys, and wherever you find your podcast. And it's me and two coworkers, former coworkers. We were canceled, but we just shoot the shit for 90 minutes. It's fun. We have people. It's where we have like an international appeal because when the Jim Jefferies Show podcast was canceled, we sort of absorbed all the listeners. So we have listeners all around the world, like very little United States people. Like it's all like Australia, Ireland, England, like all the Commonwealth countries. And so just they'll come in and we're learning lingo. We're like, okay. And, but it's interesting to be playing to mostly an audience that's nowhere near us.
That's, brings a different perspective in terms of, because you'd mentioned that they ask questions to you guys a lot of the time. So I'm sure you get a lot of odd questions.
We do. Some cross the line and we don't really answer it.
In what way?
There's like, there's one question. I mean, we do answer them, but they're like, how do I convince my girlfriend to do anal on her birthday? I'm like, whoa, what?
You're going to ruin her birthday.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Why is it like so many wrong things with this question?
It's more of a question for late night with Sue.
But we get a bunch of weird questions like that, a bunch of relationship questions.
Okay.
And we're only one of us is in a relationship, so it's really, we don't give good advice. We've convinced someone to break up with their long distance. It's like, stop asking us, stop listening to us, please. Please stop taking our advice.
They're giving you too much power.
Yeah, exactly. Please don't take anything we say to heart because we're ruining relationships. Someone's like, I just got divorced. What should I do? We're like, we don't know, man.
You're on your own there.
Yeah. There's this one guy, his name's John. He's a blind guy. He always says, yep, it's your favorite drunk blind guy, John. And apparently he got divorced from his wife. Like he's just in his wife could see and then broke up. Like it's just, what a terrible life.
She took the eyes and just left.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Poor
man.
guy. And then we just make fun of him for being drunk.
Sounds like a pretty loyal fan base, though.
It is. It really is. They're very hardcore. And they're actually kind of why I turned off my social media notifications. I could not take the messages. And granted, it was like 3 messages, but I'm like, I don't want to see this right now.
It's overwhelming.
Right.
Too much. I just want to live my life, man.
You mentioned the other podcasts that you were on that this audience base kind of came from, the Jim Jefferies Show podcast, which was, I guess, it ran alongside the actual show that you worked on, the Jim Jefferies Show.
Yes.
That's where I kind of came across you and originally wanted to reach out to you, is because I was a listener of the Jim Jefferies Show podcast, and then it ended. I guess due to Suits, it sounded like making a decision to cut it off.
Yeah. I can't get into too much why, but basically it was the ad, like they were basically making money through the ads we were doing, and we have a mostly international audience, so the ads didn't really do anything because it was they're American ads and it's all like an international audience, so they weren't making money there, and it just financially didn't make sense. Is basically the simplest way to explain it all.
Okay.
But it's going to be coming back. It'll be coming back in 2020.
Cool.
It's going to be I think it's a Spotify production.
Oh wow.
But it'll be fun. We're just looking for a space right now. It'll be more structured than before. I don't know if any of your listeners. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if any of your listeners are aware of this podcast, but if so, there was a podcast that didn't have much structure. Now there's going to be one with more structure.
Nice. I hope it does. It seemed to have a little bit more leniency in terms of what could be done because it wasn't on TV. That's like one of the nice things with podcasts is you guys could get away with a little bit more, crossing a little bit more of the lines and being a little more blue.
Yeah, because basically what was happening was we taped the TV show on Tuesday, and then pretty much right when we're done, we go right into the podcast and talk about things that were sort of cut from the show and things we wanted to say but couldn't say. And of course, that's all going to be the uncensored material that Standards and Practices says there's no way this is going on our TV show. And even still, when we did that, we still had to send the podcast through Comedy Central Standards and Practices again. So certain things were probably cut out as well, but we could definitely be way less uncensored. Also, in the beginning, everyone just was plastered for it. And then Viacom had a rule where there's no alcohol in the office. And I think it was our fault, but
Oh no!
You guys got an entire
no alcohol anywhere. Yeah,
an entire company policy changed.
I don't know who came cracking down, but we did not have alcohol. Was removed quickly from the premises.
Oh damn!
Yeah, well, I know.
At least there's a lasting legacy.
Yeah, exactly. You can still go listen to it.
Yeah.
It's still around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be coming back, and Jim's not drinking that much anymore, so it'll be fairly sober, which is fine.
Well, that's good.
Hey everyone, this is Steve.
And this is Adam.
And we're part of the Hop Nation USA podcast,
Pittsburgh's #3 craft beer podcast.
Join us every Friday for new beer reviews.
We'll talk about the news, history, and homebrewing.
Plus, we'll sit down with the best brewers and industry personalities that'll have us.
So whether you're a casual drinker, a hazy boy hophead,
or even if you're a whale hunting cellar hoarder,
just search Hop Nation USA on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcatcher and join the nation.
Support for American Slacker comes from Manscaped, who's the #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
I don't know about you, Jesse, but I am sick and tired of being outmatched by these razors and traditional trimmers that you get in the store, and no matter what, they fucking snag your nuts.
That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. They have a Lawnmower 2.0 razor, which they have sent our way, has a proprietary skin-safe technology, so you won't get those nicks or snags on your nuts.
Nice! Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past.
Yeah, and with our 20% off code plus free shipping, you're going to be saving a bunch of money and getting some great products that won't end up making it look like a war zone down there.
All you got to do is enter Slackers at checkout. Manscaped.com. 20% off. Get your anti-chafing ball deodorant, your sweet Lawnmower 2.0. Your nuts will thank you later.
You can even rep them by getting yourself a Manscaped.com t-shirt. So head on over to Manscaped.com, 20% off at checkout, enter code SLACKERS.
Get your ball swag here.
I mean, that kind of leads us into the next thing, like your work on the show. How would you sum it up, since it has come to an end, unfortunately, after 3 seasons?
What I did, I was called the executive assistant. So I was originally, through USC, I met the showrunner, Scott Zabilski, and he was just assigned to be my mentor. So usually with the mentors at USC are, they go, here's your mentor, get a coffee with him. So you get a coffee and they go, nice to meet you, bye, and you never see him again. Scott was like, I need an assistant on a movie I'm doing. Do you want to do it? I was like, okay. Did it. He liked me. Then he got the Jim Jefferies Show. And then he's like, do you want to be my assistant on here? I went, yeah, okay. So I jumped on there. So I did that in college for 2 years. And then I graduated and just did the show for a year.
Nice.
And then week 2, they go, hey, Jim needs an assistant and no one else wants to be his assistant. Do you want to just be both of our assistants? I went, okay. I remember the first thing I said to him was, I was very wet behind the ears. I was very Kenneth Parcell in the beginning. And so I went, Jim, I'm really excited to be your assistant. I think it's going to be a great time. And he went, oh God, and slammed the door in my face.
Oh my God.
He's not good with earnestness, which I've learned to dial back over the years. But yeah, I was this nerdy little kid, season 1, and then I was harassed for 3 seasons, and I was bullied into being a better person. So, and I told him that in our very last meeting. They go, I think Jack's changed the most out of everybody. I went, Jack, do you have anything to say? I said, thank you all for bullying me into a better person. And I went, it was silent. There wasn't really a laugh, but everyone acknowledged. They went, that is exactly what happened.
It's just a silent agreement amongst the group.
Oh, wow. We were kind of mean in the beginning, but it was all in good fun. I told myself as I cried that night.
Oh, my God.
The pillow
Diamonds are made with
remembers.
pressure, baby. Come on.
It's good. And then it gave me a thick skin. I was doing stand-up at the same time, so you really had to just power through just people not liking you. And then now it's all just funny.
Yeah, you seem to have a decent disposition about the whole thing. So
yeah, I loved it. I love my time there because I got to travel the world. All the season 3 field pieces, we went to Australia, Asia, South Africa to go, and all those. And I was I took on the role of being like the still photographer for everything. So I have a bunch of just amazing images I've taken.
Yeah, your Instagram, a lot of them on there just are fantastic, man.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I wanted to be a director of photography for a very long time. So photography was a way I spent a lot of my time. So the fact that I got to use it on the job, I was very excited to do.
Nice.
I think I'm different than most assistants, and then I have this very large knowledge for like technical aspects of things. Just because I was like a gearhead for a long time, so I know how to take pictures, I know how to edit, I know how to edit photos and color correct, and I know how to do sound, I know how to do every aspect of production, which no one else knows how to do. And I know how to use Photoshop. So like everything I've done up until this point has been good. Like all these moments alone in my room, just learning a stupid technical skill paid off for this job.
Nice.
And I never would have expected that. So whenever I have to find a replacement, I need to find someone who knows how to do all these things, because it's going to be expected. But yeah, I never expected all that below the line stuff to pay off. But it's interesting how life works, I guess.
Yeah. Good to have that knowledge. It's better to have it, not need it, right?
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. I'll probably not ever touch a 12K tungsten head anymore. Any of my light fans out there, you know what I'm going to be talking about.
There you go. So in terms of like best or most memorable thing you did from your time at the show,
good question.
Come to mind?
I'll say those. Traveling the world was definitely the most memorable. Trying to think. I guess there was a time in Hong Kong when we were doing the shark fin soup piece. When we were, do you guys know the backstory of the shark fin soup stuff?
No, does it taste great or something? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, they pretty much chop the fins off the sharks and like throw them back in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
your individual story, I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, basically, so like shark fin soup is like this. It's an elegant, high class dish in Asia, and the way it's made is like Jesse said. You take the shark, chop off the fins, and just throw the rest of the shark in the ocean. They drown and die. And
yeah,
I think they said like this happens to like 100 million sharks a year or something.
Holy shit!
So it's crazy, and then all the fins are in the black market. No, sorry, not even the black market, just the regular market.
Oh wow.
It's illegal to do it, but once the fins are, they're illegal to import, but once they're there, there's nothing you can do.
Oh wow.
So we went to a place that had shark fin soup, asked a bunch of questions, and I got to try the shark fin soup just because it was there, and it was really expensive. It was like over $100 for some fucking soup.
Holy shit.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, 100 US. Yeah, it was crazy for some fucking soup.
It can't be that good. I don't care.
Other people on the staff didn't want to do it, but me and our supervising producer were like,
it's there.
It's already done. Might as well see what the hubbub's about. And it was basically just imagine chicken noodle soup, but like a thicker noodle. Like that was it, because it's just cartilage. But it's not worth $100. But it's just a class statement. It's like driving a certain car, like a Rolls Royce. I don't know if it drives well, but it's definitely a statement.
Yeah.
My God.
So the other dishes they chose to order as gag orders, in addition to shark fin soup, was a chicken's foot, which I tried. Horrendous. I tried a goose's hand, which is just a goose's foot.
I was gonna say
the webbing.
I was like, geese don't have hands.
I know they call it goose hand. I don't know. It translates poorly or something. But you just eat the webbing in between the toes. And it's just like it. It's what I would assume eating a condom would be like. It was just this soggy.
Dude. Why?
Or it's not soggy. It's like this stretchy rubber. It was terrible. And then the worst one of the day was the sea cucumber, which just looked like a gray, spiky, lumpy turd on a plate, sitting in some sort of broth. I just assume it's like sea cucumber juice.
The look on your face when you said broth did not convince me it's a broth. Like,
I don't
know what it is. It's an au jus. That I don't even know how to describe what that tasted like. I still have not been able to. Like, it was in the realm of like eating octopus or something.
Okay.
But
really rubbery,
mushier. I think I've blocked out what it tasted like, but I almost gagged and threw up. But there's a bit of it somewhere. Like, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but just the sight of just this lumpy log. It looked like a big slug.
Yeah.
I guess the size would be like a glasses case. Like, where you put your sunglasses or whatever.
Dude,
like,
no.
it's a large turd.
Take that whole thing down.
I did half of it. Just terrible.
Man.
Brave man. Brave.
I guess other eating moments. I was always asked to eat weird things. There was a time when Jim does his Vegas show, it's like a big bizarre experience. Everyone gets to go. So the last time we went, he loves the part where he's in the hotel room, gets to pick up the phone and just go, yeah, I want lobster, I want spaghetti bolognese, and I want an eggs Benedict, and just hangs up the phone. And then it all arrives. And so I was bet $50 to drink the leftover butter in the pan where the lobster was.
Okay.
And I did. And everyone laughed at me. And it was also really gross because I just had chunks in it. It was like starting to curdle and turn back into regular butter.
Oh, this wasn't like right away. This was like end of the meal. Like, hey.
This is there's no lobster left. It's just the butter that's left over.
Oh, dude.
And so we poured it in like a whiskey glass and went, all right, down. And I went, oh, okay.
Shoot it back.
Shoot it back. For a long time, I wasn't able to do shots. We're getting personal now.
Tormented.
I couldn't do shots for a very long time. So every time I did it, it would go in my throat, hit the back, and then come out my nose.
Oh.
And so, yeah, it's just this. I don't know if that's happened to you guys, but basically, you just get the sinus infection symptoms where it burns and your nose starts running, and I'm crying.
Yeah. Yep.
It's. Yep. I don't recommend spitting a shot up through your nose, but I assume most people would know that off the bat. I don't know. What were you talking about? Memorable moments?
Yeah, some of these were great so far.
Yeah, we're seeing a common theme with food here.
Yeah, food. Okay, here's another good one. I hope your listeners care about this. So Jim, on the first time I was on the Jim Jefferies Show podcast, he tells me, all right, you do stand-up, right? I basically, before this, I asked him just a question about stand-up. Like, where do you look?
Yeah.
I don't know where to look. He goes, just look at the people. I'm like, all right. honestly, good answer.
Yeah, right.
So he knew I did stand-up after that, or trying. So very on to him knowing me, he goes, hey, when I do the Ace Hotel, you're going to open up for me. I went, oh, shit. Okay. He goes, I don't care if you bomb or do well, because if you bomb, we just get to make fun of you for the rest of your life. If you do well, then you do well, and it's great, and you have to thank me for it. So it's a win-win. So we predicted that it was the show was going to be booked in like 3 months. So I hit the ground running. I'm like, I got to get this material done. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God. It was never getting booked. And then we find out it's going to be booked so it's 2017 now. We find out it's going to be booked in 2019 in April. So it's like I got a lot of time to plan for it. So I'm working on my stand-up. And when we go to Asia, we're in Japan, and Jim's in the middle of his set. And he goes, yeah, my assistant's here, or blah, blah, blah. He sees me in the wing, and someone in the crowd goes, Jack Hackett! Because everyone's a fan of the podcast. And he goes, do you guys want Jack to come in here and tell one joke? And they went, yeah! So I come out there, and when I'm starting my joke, I'm getting heckled by the audience, and I'm getting heckled by Jim on stage. So I get through my joke. It goes fine. I leave the stage. And then we're in Singapore a couple days later, and he, 5 minutes before the show starts, he goes, you're going to do 5 minutes. I went,
oh my God.
What? I went, okay. And everyone goes, how do you have the balls to do this? I went, if I bomb, it's all right. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I quickly looked through my notes, like, oh God, what do I have? What do I have that's 5 minutes? I'm like, okay. I got it together. I go out there, and the problem with the Singapore crowd is, it was a lot of the Asian crowds were similar, which is they go, haha, and then it's just quiet. It's not just tapering. So it's just laugh, haha, okay, what else you got, buddy?
Oh, shit.
And so I've never really played to a 2,000 person room before.
Yeah,
I'm used to the 10 in like the back room of whatever open mic I'm paid to be at. And and it does not go very well. I get the last, you get the, those.
Oh, fuck.
You get, imagine it 2,000 people all going, and I get off stage, and Forrest, co-host for the Jim Jefferies Podcast and one of Jim's openers, him and Scott sit me down. They go, "We're gonna have to write something new for you because that's not good." Forrest, I was doing a bunch of Coca-Cola material, and Forrest goes, "You can't do this anymore." So we sit down and write a whole new 5-minute set, just the three of us, which was really fun.
Yeah.
And Scott was having a good time, and Forrest was having a good time. It was kind of fun just to write jokes, and then it's kind of like, oh, this is why we're doing what we're doing, because we really just love writing jokes. And so we get the material, and I basically am saying I'm a virgin. That's basically the whole thing. I'm not a virgin, and I might have been. I'm not. I've done it with 3 times. I'm not a virgin. I'm proud of those 3 moments. So the next night I do it, and it goes better.
Okay.
Because obviously the joke writing is going to be better. It is better. And I actually, one of the jokes I still use as my closer. So we did that. It was okay. And then after that, we get back to the US, and I start practicing more, writing all new material, and it's all much better stuff. I'm glad Forrest took me aside and said, "This is shit." So then now it's 2019, and I pretty much have basically my set together for the Ace, and we go to South Africa, and these rooms are even bigger. And Jim's like, "You're going to do 5 minutes tonight." I went, "Okay." And it's for 5,000 people.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, holy shit. Like, I'm very fortunate to be doing these gigs, because I'll probably never do a size this again. And most people never perform for like 5,000 people in their life.
Crazy.
You know? So like, I don't deserve what's happening. And if I do poorly, I'm like, I don't belong here. So it's fine. Which apparently isn't the right mentality. You should go out there and go, I belong on this stage. This is where this is my home.
Throne, so they'll have to rip my body from the stage.
I performed to 5,000 people. I do great, to the point where I get backstage and Scott comes up. He goes, "Dude, that was fucking awesome. Oh my God."
Nice.
And that was like really good as my mentor to say, "Wow, that was really great." And then I do 2 more gigs in South Africa. But those were, they're still like to 4,000 people. It was still crazy. I did great those nights. I was like, wow, this is really fun. And then, like I'll do my 5 minutes or whatever. And I go, wow, that really killed. I'm so happy. I'm doing great. And then I'll see Jim go out there, and he destroys. Like, my biggest laugh is his normal laugh.
Damn.
And it's interesting when he walks out on stage and the AC/DC's playing, and the crowd's like giving a standing ovation. Oh, wow, we love this guy. I'm like, wow, I really am in a very fortunate position. It was kind of like, you guys ever seen the movie Almost Famous?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just basically the Almost Famous kid. I'm just traveling around with this rock star, and it's magical. It really is inspirational to be with someone this big and so good. You can kind of forget it, because we're just like in his hotel room. Like, Jim, you need to wake up. We have a field shoot in 20 minutes. I lose a little bit of perspective. But when those big moments happen, you go, wow, this really is a cool career I'm following. I'm not religious, but I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah. And
so I definitely try to take every moment to just soak it in and just be like, I need to remember this moment for podcast. And
yep.
And so then I get back to the United States again, and I'm working on my set, and I have 8 minutes at the Ace, so I just need like a couple more minutes in there. So I'm trying some new stuff. And we met a comedian in Singapore, and he named Sam C. And I let him stay at my house whenever he comes to LA.
Nice.
So I was at a show I was booked on, and he went, "Hey, send me your set. I want to hear it." I went, "No, I don't want to do that." He goes, "Come on, pussy." I went, "Okay, fine." So I send him my 8-minute tape or something with kind of like all new material. This is like my last hurrah. Like, okay, after this, I know what's going to go in the Ace Hotel set. Mm-hmm. Little do I know, Sam plays it, because Sam was staying at Jim's house at the time. He plays it for Jim, his Forrest, another one of his openers, JJ, Reese Darby, who's Flight of the Conchords. Yeah. He's in Jumanji. And so the 4 of them, or the 5 of them, are sitting there listening to it. And I start getting texts from them going, why are you doing these jokes? Why aren't you doing your other material that we worked with? Why are you doing this? This isn't what you're doing for the Ace, right? I'm like, guys, stop.
Oh
Leave me
my
alone.
God.
It was just like the wrong group of people to hear me not do very well. But then the Ace Hotel happened, and it was the best set I've ever had.
Nice.
And Jim gave me a big hug and texted me later, hey, Jack, I'm proud of you. And I printed it off, and I have it in some picture frame as proof that he said something nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, from the first story you told us about when you first met him to that, I feel like it's been quite an arc.
Yeah, but it's also been like 2 years for me working for him. So we've also just become friends. And like I went to his house for Thanksgiving, and so I just started off as this loser assistant, and now we're pretty good friends. So it's cool how that happened. I never would have thought that that's where my life would be headed.
That's crazy.
And then I've just gotten better at stand-up, and then I performed up in Santa Barbara at UC Santa Barbara, and I did really well. That was like my next best set, and Todd Glass was the headliner.
Oh, damn.
And Todd Glass was like, that was really good. I want you to open for me in Vegas. I went, great. So I went to Vegas with Todd Glass, opened for him, and now he and I are friends, and I play in his band whenever he's touring.
Oh, cool.
Or whenever he plays in Los Angeles.
Band?
It's just called Todd Glass. It's just, he kind of has a sort of a phony lounge act.
Okay.
Where he's the comedian, and he has this band that will yell at him in the middle of the set and just be like, no, Todd, that's not how it works. Like Todd will go, yeah, I just got a new car. And we'll all go, oh, wow, you got a new car. Oh, wow, look at you. And he starts fighting with us. He goes, oh, no, I'm just saying I have a new car. I wasn't bragging. We're like, oh, I'm not bragging. And then he has his sort of sidekick, John Brand Wagner, who is on the keyboard. And his music stings are just, he's always on the money with him. So if you ever get a chance to see Todd Glass, definitely go see him. I actually think he's going to be up in Brooklyn. So I don't know how far Albany is from Brooklyn, but it might be
not that far.
Too far.
Yeah, not that far.
That might be worth it. But yeah, he's great. And then I've been just getting some book shows at the Improv here, and then those are going super well. And
nice.
I don't know. I never considered stand-up as a career until this job, and it's just kind of one of those things where it's like when a door opens, just walk through it and just totally commit to it. And that's sort of been my life motto ever since this job, which is just take the opportunities. Learn when to say no, which is what I'm also learning what to do. Mm-hmm. But also just if an opportunity arises, just jump at it and just put all your effort in it. And if it doesn't work out, whatever, you're back to where you were. But if it works out great, you're going to be in a much better spot. Because I know there's a lot of my friends are worried to like, they're at like a terrible job and they're worried like to make the jump somewhere because it might not go right. Mm-hmm. But it almost might be worth the jump.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Keep saying okay until they tell you no. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you hit no, you're like, all right, I get it.
Hi, fuckers. I'm Jason Alme.
And I'm Christina Alme, and we're the hosts of Shit Happens When You Party Naked.
You should listen to our podcast if you like interviews with fascinating and insightful guests.
What recovery has done in my life, I shouldn't be alive right now, first off. So I'm already blessed just by my heart beating every day.
Or even silly and profane guests.
Remember that time I was 14 and I was sucking dick?
Or extreme profanity. But you were saying for a second. I was like, oh my God, your mom is right there. I was going to say in front of your mom. I mean, I know we've dropped the F-bomb in front of your mom a whole bunch, but we should not say the word in front of Joanne. Please, don't say in front of Joanne.
Or explicit tales of fuckery.
There's my buddy Chris standing in the aisle, pissing on the floor, pretending to be looking at an ironing board. Or shitty Samuel L. Jackson impressions?
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what? English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Say what again? I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time. Bro, you promised to stop making me do the Sam Jackson impression, you fucker.
Search for Shit Happens When You Party Naked on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, Podbean, SoundCloud, Overcast, Soundcast, Undercast, Sound Pocket, and Pocket Sound.
I double dare you, motherfucker.
This episode is brought to you in part by hemp-cbd.com.
Hemp-CBD was founded in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with the mission to provide the best products in the industry. Hemp-CBD has created a one-stop shop for tons of CBD products, such as tinctures, edibles, topicals, pre-rolls, vape, and pet products.
The products carried by Hemp-CBD are sourced from an organic hemp that's grown in the United States, lab tested, and consists of CBD isolate, which is the purest form of CBD. This testing ensures that their products contain CBD and no other cannabinoids like THC.
Head over to hemp-cbd.com and use promo code SLACKER for a 20% discount at checkout.
That's hemp-cbd.com, promo code SLACKER.
Well, that's awesome. So are there any dates or anything that people can look forward to catching you if they're in your area?
Yeah, let's see. I'll be at the Dynasty Typewriter. I'll be in the Todd Glass Band on New Year's Eve.
Oh, cool.
I think it's a 7:30 show. I'll be playing the guitar.
Nice.
And then
yeah, I see some axes behind you there.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I got an acoustic that I got for free from my neighbor who worked for Fender.
Oh, wow.
What?
He says, here's this acoustic. My kids beat it up, so it's in bad shape, but it's yours if you want. It went great.
Why not?
So I have
right?
that, and then I have an American Strat, and then I have a Les Paul Epiphone. And
nice.
I've been playing I realized the other day I've been playing guitar for over half my life.
Oh wow.
Which is also
Matt's
cool.
a guitar player as well.
Man as well.
Are you? I've noticed the bass guitar behind you.
Yeah,
Do you play regular guitar or bass?
Warlock. There's an acoustic.
Oh hell yeah,
I got
dude!
an SG.
Ooh.
I used to have over 10 guitars at one time. I used to be crazy with it, but I got rid of a lot of them.
Do you play music? You play a band or anything?
I got a lot of music. I got something coming out in the next month, actually. With a
really?
band.
He's working with this British synthwave duo?
Yeah, synthwave duo called Delta City, and we got a song coming out. It'll be on their album. It's I hope it's dropping at the end of December. It might be January.
That's cool.
But yeah, oh yeah.
We can definitely send it your way.
Man.
They're one of the many
please.
people we've met through doing this podcast.
Yep.
Funny.
Yeah,
enough.
it's funny. Yeah, it's an actual. Yeah, it's a music thing that came up from podcasting.
That's awesome.
Opportunities, man. Walking through those doors, you just ride them out.
Literally, yeah.
You never know.
And
what'll
are you
happen.
playing just guitar on it, or are you singing or doing?
I sing on it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Great. And what's the genre?
Synthwave. It's like
okay.
80s-ish kind of. Yeah.
80s electronic kind of.
Yeah.
That's probably not a most accurate description of it.
I feel like I think I know what it is, but I can't name it.
Yeah, like the Midnight Kavinsky. Have you seen the movie Drive?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of the music in that was synthwave.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking.
Kind of feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I used to do like post-hardcore.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
So yeah.
And Matt and I did acoustic songs in the back of his van in high school.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Man, I got into it.
Demos still out there.
I got into playing guitar because of School of Rock.
Oh really?
Jack
By
Black.
chance that movie inspired me to want to play guitar, and then I started listening to Green Day, so all I was playing were Green Day songs.
Right.
But now I've matured and I play Fall Out Boy songs.
I used to be such a dude, Jack Black.
Your name dropping.
Destiny,
oh my
bitch.
gosh, the Pick of Destiny.
Bitch.
Oh my god.
I love
That's
that
fucking
shit.
great.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
That
Jack
movie's
Black was the
underrated. People do not talk about that movie enough. That's one of my favorite movies.
It's a fantastic one.
shit.
Yeah. What are
album
some
to
of
go
your
along with
favorite
it?
comedies that are your go-tos for if you were to suggest people?
Yeah. Let me think of my sort of top ones. I was working on I should have a top 10 ready to go. And pretty much all my favorite movies.
It's difficult to pick though.
It is. Yeah. I think pretty much all my favorite movies are also comedies, so it all works out. But number one's Back to the Future, and there's a surprising number of people who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Go see it. It's really weird. Go fucking see it. That one's great. I love the Coen Brothers movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, that's a great one.
Just the callbacks in that movie are wonderful.
The whole Odyssey thing. Is it the Odyssey?
Yeah, it's the Odyssey, yeah. It's so fucking cool. And really funny. Tommy Boy is another big one for me.
Yeah.
I quote that one way too much.
Yeah, we love
Dude,
that
same. My brother and I reenacted the scene where he breaks the toy car. There's a video of it somewhere of my brother and I reenacting it. And both of us wanted to be Chris Farley. So there's one take where I'm Chris Farley, and then there's another take where my brother Sean's Chris Farley.
I've used the chicken wing scene as like a guiding principle for a lot of my life on how to.
Let me tell you why situations. I suck as a salesman. Yes.
You just gotta impress the waitress, man. That's all you gotta
do. And recently, a movie that blew me away recently is Jojo Rabbit.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard really good things.
That is, I say it's the best comedy in the past 10 years. People tell me that's extreme, so I'll say it's the best comedy in the past 5 years.
Ease it back.
Ease it back. All right, I just really liked it. Get it off my back.
Pump the brakes, man.
It's definitely in the realm of the producers, which I also love. Anything Mel Brooks is great. Although I'm not a big fan of like his movie parody stuff. Like I don't really like Robin Hood Men in Tights. I wasn't the biggest fan of. It was kind of too.
I love that movie when I was a kid.
I know people love it. It's too, I guess maybe broad for me or something. I don't like Producers is amazing, and see, I like Spaceball. So what do I know?
Well, different flavors.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think I just hate medieval stuff. That's why I never watched Game of Thrones.
God. Not a Princess Bride fan either, huh?
God.
See, I do like that, but like I couldn't really get into it because of the medieval stuff, and like Lord of the Rings I never was big on, and I don't know what it was.
You're more of a Star Trek, Star Wars kind of guy.
Exactly.
Okay.
I guess more of a film school comedy that probably a lot of people haven't heard of. Harold and Maude it's a rom-com between a young man, like a young kid, like 18, who wants to die and tries to kill himself. He falls in love with an old woman who doesn't want to die, wants to live forever. And basically what they both learn is he learns, wow, life is great, I want to live. And she learns, death isn't that bad, I should accept my fate. And it's this really touching movie that's dark and hilarious, and just more people need to know about this movie.
It's an older one, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's on the Criterion Collection.
Nice.
So if you have that Criterion subscription, it's good, but most people probably don't. But it's really fucking good. Trying to think of some other ones. Anything Anna McKay's done's great. Except Anchorman 2. That one's not as good.
Yeah,
that was
just a cameo movie.
I mean, that was just them fucking around all day.
Yeah.
I tried getting the guy who did sound for Fast and Furious 7 that got me on. I almost skipped my spring break with my family so I could try to work on Anchorman 2.
Oh, wow.
But there were no openings, so I went on vacation. Oh, well. I know.
Missed opportunity, but not really.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big rom-com guy. I don't know why, but I love When Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
That movie is great. And then also watched recently Sleepless in Seattle. I didn't expect to like that one as much. I know, but I really did. I'm into these sappy things.
You're going to be watching You've Got Mail next, right?
Yeah, already saw it. It's great. I should go see what that one's originally based on. It's a German movie. It's an Ernst Lubitsch thing. My film school showing. I'm sorry.
All those essays are coming back in flashbacks.
Stop it, invading my brain. Yeah, I was so bad at my essays. Like I'd use what I learned the term. They're called colloquialisms. I didn't know what they were. Learned because I used them all the time.
Oh, you're saying all these Georgia things, huh?
Yeah, say all these Georgia. They're working in a catfish and fire. Like, I don't know. But they told me stop using colloquialisms. Like, this is how I write, man. If you don't like my writing, then it's a C. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it took me a while for that lesson too.
There's one paper that they didn't catch me on. I had to write a paper on Andrew Carnegie, who is the big steel monopoly guy. So I start off the paper. I go, Andrew Carnegie, he was just a poor boy. He did not need so sympathy. And I almost started going to, it was easy come, easy go. I didn't go that far with it.
We will not let him go, no.
Mamma mia, mamma mia. I did not get busted for that one. But there's another terrible one I had to write about Steven Spielberg. And I went, Steven Spielberg is a game changer. And he changed the game so hard, no one else could change the game. But But what made him so good at changing the game? It was like the worst intro paragraph I've ever written, but I was like, it's going in.
They called you out on that one?
No, I just got a bad grade.
Yeah, okay.
Like, that's overuse of game.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, okay, it's clear you're padding out.
Great besides that.
Did he auto change like words all to fucking game change? Like,
I have my roommate. He's sort of the master at bullshitting, and there was a time when it was in a film class, and he was assigned. Basically, he had to write about some movie. I don't quite know what the assignment was, but there was a list of art house movies he had to pick, like very film school-esque movies. And he didn't pick one of those movies. He picked some other movie he wanted to watch instead. Didn't watch it. And then in the essay, he just put a block quote that took up over half the page that he made up. So he made up a block quote and then analyzed his block quote for another half a page.
Wow.
And then put in like two more block quotes, and then didn't include a works cited. So like everything he did should have gotten him a 0, maybe expelled.
Right.
Because I don't know if it's plagiarism if you make up a quote. I don't think it's plagiarism, right? So
it's like a loophole, I think.
Yeah, you're just a liar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're just lying. You're just lying.
He got a 95.
Damn.
Yeah. Like we were so fucking mad. Because I would work
deserved
hours
100,
on my papers.
honestly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. For
at that range,
at the end of the day,
100.
Oh, and then I had another friend. I had 4 friends who I lived with, and they all went to a class called Comedy in the City together. And they were always late, so they had to sit up at the front of the class. And they just had inside jokes and were saying them the whole time, front row in this small classroom. So the poor professor just had to like take whatever bullshit they were saying.
Oh man.
And one day, my roommate Katie, she determined it'd be really funny if she turned in her essay damp, just so when she hands in the paper, it just sags over. And so I don't know why she thought it'd be funny. So she goes and she prints off 2 copies. One version of the paper, the whole background is just a watermark image from Zootopia. It's just in the background that's very faint that you can't notice. And then the other paper had Zootopia in rainbow letters diagonally in the middle of a paragraph. And just all the words were breaking around it. And so I think the watermark one got too damp and there was a hole bore in it through the faucet. So she couldn't use that one. So she used the other one and just like took a wet paper towel and just dabbed it. So it just became this damp, soggy thing, and then handed it over. And the TA's face was just like, what did you just give me? And I think they got a B+ on it. And the only note they got back was like, please don't put Zootopia in the middle of your essays anymore. Like, these guys got away with murder, and I was getting C's because I used colloquialisms.
Oh my God.
Like that's my rhetorical device. Like how is that?
That's a hell of a standard to be grading by.
They had higher expectations of you, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right, well, you guys just hate me, and that's fine.
You couldn't dampen it for us? I mean, come on.
What do you guys do? There was another paper I did because there's one school of thought where it's kind of like when you have an essay, it's like pick a point of view that you not necessarily agree with, but just write it. So I did one about comedy, about how censorship back in like you guys remember like the Dalton Trumbo days? You guys ever see that movie?
Yeah.
Where they had all like the Hays codes and it was very restrictive what you could do. I said it was good for comedy because that's when like the Marx Brothers were like at their peak and they had all like all the euphemisms and stuff that came out. Like like
finding ways where it made comedy more creative to get around.
Yeah, exactly.
Rules.
Like that's where lines are like a guy gets up from a table like, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to see a man about a horse. And like from whatever the scene context, it meant he was going to go take a shit. But it's like stuff like that would have never come up. So I said, this was great for comedy. It was 12 pages. I made there were colloquialisms. I can't help myself. I don't even recognize them. I just see them as making a comparison. And I get the paper back. I got a good grade. And my teacher goes, do you actually think censorship was good for movies? I went, no, it was just a more interesting argument for me to write about. And she went, don't do that.
Well,
Why would you do that?
You know what? That meant you wrote a hell of a fucking paper because she almost
Convincing.
believed that you did believe that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I never expected to be talking about college essays on a podcast, but here we are.
Yeah, there you go. Well, no,
Never
we've
know where
learned a
they're gonna
lot
go.
about you in this hour, I would say.
Well, good. I hope so. And I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, above all, right?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if this interview was in 20 years and I was accomplished in some matter, everything would be a little bit more interesting. But it's like, this guy's still just an assistant. What do we know?
Well, I guess that means we have to root for you now, so that this becomes like historic gold.
Yeah, exactly. So this podcast ages well.
Exactly.
Like, remember when he was talking about college essays? He still is for some reason, but
See a young Jack Hackett.
Don't worry, you didn't say anything too inflammatory, so they won't come back and roast you for anything.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was making sure to be careful. I was making sure you guys weren't going to Shane Gillis my ass.
Oh,
Nah,
God.
dude, we're not gonna cancel you. Don't worry.
We'll avoid that. Well, thank you for coming on, man. This has been
Of course,
fantastic.
guys, appreciate it. This is very fun.
We'll have to, like we said, keep up with what you're doing now.
Hell yeah, keep in touch for sure. This was very fun.
Oh yeah, and real quick, where can the people find you before we check out here?
You can go to hackettproductions.com. You can find all the other social media links there. Because I forget what my tags are.
Gotcha.
Nice,
I'm
awesome.
bad at promoting. Just go to this one place.
Hey,
and figure it out.
quick, man. You know
Make
that
sure
works.
to listen to him on the Unsolicited Podcast.
That's it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got it. Thank
Damn.
you.
He knows
You guys are great.
He knows your fucking tags better than you. This is crazy. All
Do my
right,
research.
I need an
Have to.
assistant.
Jesse, he's got an opening. There you go. You could be assistant to the assistant.
I'll send you my resume.
All right.
It better be damp.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And until next time, that's it.
There you go.
We smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm psyching America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're second America.
This has been American Slacker Podcast. You can reach the show by searching American Slacker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit. Or send them an email to americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. You can download and rate American Slacker on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and all other podcast platforms. Visit the show's website, aspodcast.com, where you will find every episode, official merchandise, and links to their Patreon if you would like to support American Slacker.
Give me a minute. Think about the second set of passing. Man, I gotta go and get it, grab it. Why you gotta go and act savage? Smoking weed, I gotta feed the habit. Now I'm on some other shit. Things that I gotta go get. Medical all on my slip. You falling like dominoes, bitch. Stuck in my ways, fucking high days, fucking sideways in the driveway. We smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm psyching America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're second America. We're second America.